Oh boy, was that a pestilence? Say what?
You share the same bed with your wife, right?
Yeah, why?
Do you just wake up in the middle of the night and say, "Yes, I got an idea for the mission.
It's in my head.
Yeah, I got the counter of the pestilence." And your wife look at you. Oh, shut the fuck up. Go back to bed.
I'm just too excited. I'm playing reckless right now.
Hey.
Rogue defender drone detected.
Oh shit! Hold on, we got my build too. Full damage with a diamondback.
What's his
He
name?
wasn't
Victor.
the last round.
His name is Victor Lewis. Save Victor Lewis for me.
Ah, yes!
If this goes right, I'm getting off.
Be
Y'all go
righteous!
He look like.
Got these punk motherfuckers out here copying your build!
Rogue fixer drone.
I was killed by it. Molded by it. I didn't see the shield till I was a man!
Rogue defender
Merely
drone
adopted
seeking
the shield.
Give him from all time. He's right in the hallway, right there. Keep going on your left. There you go. Oh,
Thought he
yeah,
had
left
something.
my little friend.
Thought he had something. I'm gonna stay here. Stay here. Pestilence down. Come on, Pesty. Come on, Pesty. I got you. Ooh. I killed him, bro, but his boy killed me.
Rogue defender drone detected. An agent needs assistance. Agent down. Vital signs critical. An agent needs assistance. Serious trauma detected. System System restored.
There's no pulling out. Keep fighting. There are no more road reinforcements. The specialization supply drop.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
What is up, YouTube family? Be righteous in the building from Identity, and I know this is a build all of you want to see. I'm a division agent that loves diversity and hates when there's one build that plagues the community and that everyone thinks is the only way to play. The True Patriot Pestilence meta needs to be checked, and I got just the remedy. Don't go anywhere because you are going to absolutely love this build. It literally creates a brand new playstyle which utilizes an exotic many thought was useless. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers who goes by the name of Paul Sargent. He asked me in my comment section to make a shotgun build with the Sweet Dreams that is actually viable for legendaries. He said no other content creator took on this challenge, so I took this opportunity in a heartbeat. Paul was super excited when I told him I made the build, and so am I. So here it is, buddy. If you're new to my channel and interested in builds from DPS all the way to skill, then please drop a like and don't hesitate to subscribe for weekly dedicated content. I'll call this build Ninja because the playstyle that you adopt while using this build makes you feel like one. This seamless movement gives you an incredible advantage against your enemies, since while you're moving you gain multiple buffs that are essential to your survival and probability of success. This applies to both PvE and PvP, especially in PvE because NPC's accuracy is less effective against you while performing a cover to cover, and in PvP players just aren't used to seeing such unorthodox movement. Anyways, I'm sorry I've talked for too long, but I really don't want to miss anything about this build, even when describing it here. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Alright, let's get right into this. Man, I'm excited about this build. Okay, I know I just uploaded a video like 3 or 4 days ago, but I just had to get this out really quick because I know a lot of you are having problems with the True Patriot Pestilence meta, and I just wanted to bring something to help everyone out. And this is really going to help you. I know it is because it's proven to work, and I'm going to explain to you many reasons why it's a counter. So first of all, we're going with the firewall specialization. So you want to use this for the armor kit and also for when you're doing the cover to cover movement, because when you're doing that, the firewall specialization is the only one that gives you bonus armor while doing that. That goes in correlation with the way the knee pads work. And I'm really happy that I was able to make a build with this. So the survivability with this is really good, and it's really formidable when you fight against that type of build. You're able to withstand whatever it dishes out if you're shifty enough. Okay, the primary weapon I'm going with is the apartment. Now I got this out of the DZ during targeted loot when I was farming for SMGs, and this one dropped pretty good. I'd rather have damage to armor instead of magazine size. I'm probably going to look for another apartment that has that, because damage to armor is something that I'm stacking on this build. Magazine size helps also because it has perfectly measured, and perfectly measured works kind of like the old school exotic SMG that they had in Division 1 called the House. And the House had an exotic talent called Card Counter. That talent was at 1/2 of the magazine, did 25% increased damage, and the other half that deals damage flips every 10 seconds or when the magazine is empty. So you were constantly getting a damage buff when the card flipped. I mean, this is kind of similar to this because the first half of the magazine does 20% rate of fire and negative 27% weapon damage, and the bottom half of the magazine has negative 20% rate of fire and 33% total weapon damage. Now you may think that you're losing damage on this, but you're not, and you're going to see why in the build as I explain it later on. The secondary, the Sweet Dreams. The reason why you see Lullaby here is because the Lullaby was the exotic shotgun that you could unlock for pre-ordering the special edition back in the day. This performs the same as the Sweet Dreams. I just wanted to change the skin, and you can do that by getting a blueprint that allows you to change the aesthetics of the gun. So if you want to have this style, you can, or you can have the Sweet Dreams look. I just prefer this style. It looks pretty cool to me. But anyways, this is one of the main parts of the build, along with the exotic knee pads that I'm going to explain later on. A lot of people think that this weapon, all it's good for is the melee, because the exotic talent is called Sandman, where melee attacks instantly kill non-elite enemies, and the cooldown is 15 seconds. This is a really good talent. So if you could actually do damage with this and have a melee that instantly kills non-elite enemies, you're dealing with a beast of a weapon, I must say. I recalibrated this and I came up with a pretty good roll. Now I know a lot of you are getting rolls where you recalibrate and you have 1% off from your damage or 1% off from one of your stats or whatever it is. Please don't re-roll that, because you're going to regret it. You know, take what you can get. So in my last build, Decapitate, I told you I was working on a counter for the True Patriot Pestilence, and I was determined to do that. Now there are many reasons why this is a counter for that. I just had to analyze the weaknesses of the people who run it. So one reason is that I'm stacking high damage to armor. If you didn't know already, damage to armor is multiplicative because it amplifies the damage, so it can do more damage than other stats. This build has high damage to armor, 19%, the 11% from my shotgun, and I'm running contractor gloves that gives me another 8%. And True Patriot Pestilence users are usually tanky, 1.5 to 2 million armor. This gun can 2-shot that, if not 3-shot, but mostly 2-shot. And one thing I want to mention about the shotgun is that when you have accuracy with shotguns, it tightens the spread of the pellets in the buckshot, so you get more damage because those pellets are less likely to miss them. So at the moment, I'm uploading accuracy on my watch. It's about 6% right now, but I want to get it to 10%. And plus, Sweet Dreams has 15% accuracy on it already. So that's 25% accuracy that you're going to have on a shotgun. It has 25% optimal range. That's the same range as an SMG or some ARs. So you can really get people from a distance with this when they're running at you or when they're running away from you. Optimal range is very important on shotguns, just to let you know. And the burst damage this outputs is too much for them to stand in front of you. I got 43% critical hit chance, so each pellet in a buckshot that I fire can have 1 to 4 crits in each pellet, critting for 500 to 700% critical hit damage. Now I can get this weapon up to 60% crit chance, but that'll decrease my critical hit damage, which will then make me do less damage. I did some calculations and I did some testing, and when you have a little bit less crit chance and more crit damage, I tested it out and you output more damage. Trust me, you don't need to stack 60% critical hit chance. you're better off sacrificing some critical hit chance for more crit damage. You won't regret it. Try it out. So the True Patriots rely on that high armor, and they rely on standing in front of you so they can increase the stacks. When you're pop shotting in and out of cover, you're not face tanking. So you're taking away their opportunity to face tank with you and get the stacks. So you pop up, boom, get down, pop up, boom, and then strafe left and right. You got to use your skills, you know. True Patriot relies on their stacks because the Pestilence doesn't do enough damage to just burst you down quick. So you have enough time to get them out before they could even do anything. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this part, so let me get on with the build and then I'll describe more as I go along. For the sidearm, I have the backup boomstick. I might as well, right? Another shotgun. I haven't rolled this yet, so I'm probably just going to roll something on here that complements the build. I don't know yet. Let me know down in the comments what I should put on this. Alright y'all, here's the build, okay? I got a Providence mask for the headshot damage and crit chance. Mostly the crit chance. I rolled it to armor because, like I said, I want to be tanky. And the rolls came pretty good. You want to crit this shotgun out. That's what's going to help you with that damage output. I have the 0F's named Badger Tough chest piece. I'm looking for a better chest piece, but you want to run Unbreakable. Perfectly Unbreakable gives you 100% armor repair once your armor depleted. This helps you out with your survivability while you're fighting against those builds. Now, honestly, when I was playing with this build, man, this shotgun is so strong that I was literally looking at every other build as insignificant. When I was playing the game, I was like, yo, where's the True Patriot? Where's True Patriot? Anybody else who came up to me, I was either one-shotting or two-shotting. Period. I wasn't having it. So the fact that I could just run through and not even worry about any other build is crazy. Now, I will tell you that when I was fighting against one True Patriot user, he was using Efficient, where when you use an armor kit, it increases your armor repair by like 200%. This stacked on top of the firewall specialization is nuts. As soon as you hit somebody, the armor goes right back. They're invincible for a certain amount of time. It's like you're better off not even fighting them. So I was fighting some guy that every time I damaged him, he would go into cover and use Efficient. And Efficient gives you your armor kits back also, so he probably had like 5 or 6 of them. Whenever he would use it, I just wouldn't fight him. He was trying to get his stacks on me with the Pestilence, but I would back up, use my armor kit, and I was just playing smart against him. But guess what? When he didn't have any more armor kits, I one-shotted him. So this is the build that you want to use against them where they don't expect how much damage you're going to output. So when you stand in front of them the first time, they're not going to have a chance to go pop an armor kit. This chest piece is also great for legendaries. I said in the thumbnail that this is legendary heroic certified. I used this in the legendary and it was actually viable. I was doing damage with my shotgun. Whenever they got close to me, I meleeed them. It was literally something that you could be comfortable and use in the legendary. And heroics, forget about it. When I was running that heroic, we ran into some rogue agents that were a breeze as well. And like I said, when you're doing cover to cover against NPCs, they hit you a lot less. So when I said this literally creates a new play style, I wasn't lying to you. If you can get used to the cover movements, then you can literally move like a ninja. And in PvP, it's like they don't expect you to move like that. So many times I gave people the okie doke, they didn't know what hit them. So if you play this build that caters to its playstyle, then you will be really successful with it. For this holster, I'm using Providence, just so I can get that second piece for the 10% critical hit chance. Some great rolls. I mean, I could use more weapon damage, but I was honestly looking for the crit. 12%, 6%. That's all I need. Alright, y'all, for the backpack. This backpack is very essential for this build, right? Once again, I got low weapon damage, but once I min-max this build, it's gonna be awesome, man. Remember I said I was stacking damage to armor, right? Damage to armor is multiplicative, which means it does more damage than other stats. Well, this talent called versatile, and also the reason why I'm using an SMG with my shotgun, gives you 35% damage when you switch your weapon, just for switching your weapon. Now this varies depending on what type of weapon you have, which is why I'm using a shotgun and an SMG. The weapons have to be different, but this combination is perfect because enemies within 15 meters with shotguns and SMGs take 35% damage. So this is what you need right here. And whenever you see the phrase amplifies total weapon damage, that means that it's multiplicative as well. So this stacks on top of the damage to armor that you get. And also this is the reason why I'm using the SMG with perfectly measured. Remember when I said with perfectly measured, you get negative 27% weapon damage, but plus 20% rate of fire. Well, you're gaining 8% damage because this gives you 35% weapon damage when you swap to it. All it's doing is helping you out. Not to mention when I switch to my shotgun, the 2-shot turns into a 1-shot. The gloves, as I said, I'm running a contractor's gloves specifically for the damage to armor. Gives you 8% no matter what. This is a named item. You can get this in the open world. Just farm gloves and you'll get them. These are easy to get. And I rolled 6% crit chance on here. the Ninja Bike knee pads. For those of you who are wondering where I got these, from what I understand, they only come from the supply drops in the DZ. And if you're lucky enough to get them to drop, they're not instantly in your inventory. You still have to extract them. I was about to give these away to another clanmate who didn't have it, and I'm glad I didn't, because I wouldn't be able to bring this build specifically. But these came with a very good roll. Max weapon damage, almost max crit chance, and crit damage. The talent is parkour. Performing a cover to cover or vaulting reloads your drawn weapon. Now this is another reason why this is a counter to that build or a lot of builds that you're fighting. Because to eliminate the whole reloading factor is huge, especially with shotguns, because it takes forever to reload shotguns. You reload shotguns shell by shell, one by one. I mean, you don't want to sit there and do that. You can get killed while doing that, right? So you're better off performing a cover to cover while you have bonus armor from the firewall specialization perk and getting the advantage that way. I tell you what, I'm not even blowing smoke when I tell you this. I used this multiple times and gained the advantage on my enemy in the middle of a fight multiple times. There was one case where it was this guy. He was using the chem launcher, right? He was destroying me. I gotta admit, he was destroying me. He was hitting me, and I was just getting one shot. But once I got close to him, I had one shotgun shell left in my ammo. I shot at him, but I missed, and so I didn't have any more ammo. Then I got on the cover, which was a car. He shot the chem cloud around my body. I used the cover to cover to the opposite wall, got my ammo back, and bodied him. This exemplified what these knee pads do. Players just don't expect you to move that way. So if you can master this playstyle, you can put yourself on a higher echelon of skill. So yeah, I love these knee pads. They quickly became a favorite of mine. I suggest that you get these. And they're not only good for shotguns, they're good for LMGs, good for SMGs, anything. Because reloading has always been a pain, in my opinion. That's why that was the first thing that I upgraded on my watch. For the first skill, I'm using the decoy. I mean, why not? The build is called Ninja, right? So you might as well act like a ninja. Put up a distraction. You know, you're always on the move. So it'd be really good to confuse your enemy to make them think you're in places that you're not. I told you, like before in my other build, I use the decoy, and it's actually a distraction. It works in PvP and it's really good in PvE. I mean, the NPCs really get distracted by this. And it's also a good skill to use when you have 0 skill tier. And the second skill I'm using is the jammer pulse. Just because the problem I have with this build is going against people who use skills. So if I could jam a skill here and there, then that works out for me. And the cooldown is not bad for no skill tier. You know, 27 seconds is good. Sometimes I alternate between this and a scanner pulse, just depending on the situation. If I'm playing solo, I'd rather use the jammer pulse. And that right there is the build, you guys. I really want to know your thoughts on this build. And I got a question for you. Tell me how you think we as a community can make this build even better to maximize its effectiveness against builds like that, so we can just put it on a whole nother level. I really want to know your thoughts. Let me know down in the comment section what you think about this build. I really hope that this helps you out, and if it did, I'd appreciate if you drop a like and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Until I see you in my next video, be right out.